understand the assumptions of evolution.
No, I very much do understand. I understand that you have to believe it happened. You believe it could happen if you had millions of years. Okay, you just left science and went to religion. Go ahead.
Okay, but you said that dogs cannot produce non-dogs, but that is not what evolution says at all. Evolution says you take two populations of dogs and expose them to very different selective pressures, then eventually microevolutionary traits will build up, and eventually, but for the first couple of thousand years, they will be able to interbreed.
Okay, so do you see how you right now are going from science to religion in the same sentence? Does anybody else see that? Am I the only one seeing this? Okay. You can believe that this could happen over millions of years, but that's no longer science. Science is what we can observe and test and study and demonstrate. I don't care what could happen over millions of years. What happens? We have 6,000 years of recorded human history with people telling us dogs produce dogs. What evidence do you have that would say that something other than that can happen? Don't tell me what might happen over millions of years. Where's the scientific evidence?
Okay, put in another way. Do you believe that 1 apple plus 2 apples equals 3 apples?
What does that have to do with dogs? I'm kidding.
So you can imagine that, right?
I want to stay on topic. Yeah, I believe 1 apple plus 1 apple equals 2 apples. I agree.
Yeah. So do you believe that 1,000,000 apples plus 1 apple will equal 1,000,001 apples? Or 1,000,000 plus 2,000,000 apples will equal 2,000,000 apples?
If you're going to give me every possible example, we're going to be here for a long time.
Well, you've never sat down and added.
Yeah, I taught math. I believe that. I understand. Okay.
So, you don't need to have seen personally millions of years of evolution to have to believe it.
Oh, no, you have a false analogy here. We have mathematical I've never seen 1,000,000 apples plus 1 apple equal 1,000,001, okay? But that is not the same as saying, I've never seen a dog produce a non-dog. That is absolutely two totally different things. That's a logical fallacy, okay?
How's that a logical fallacy? We were talking about millions of mutations and...
Okay, well, I don't think I can help you on that one. If you don't see the problem with that, then I think we probably should go to a different topic.
Okay. So, I guess I'm taking up a lot of time. One last.
Two questions, and then get in line again if you want. Yeah, Skip, come on back. I want to see you. Go ahead. You have another question about vestigial structures?
Okay, yeah, so my last one. Are you aware that humans are not perfectly adapted to walking on 2 feet? That is the reason why so many people experience lower back pain.
Wait now. Let me see if I understand this. You're saying humans are not perfectly adapted to walking on 2 feet, and that's why we have lower back pain. And are you implying that is evidence we used to walk on 4s like an 8?
Yes.
Okay. Could it be there's
our ancestors, we ourselves never did.
Okay, there are an awful lot of people that do not experience lower back pain. There are cultures all over the world that don't have the lower back pain America does, because maybe they have different dietary reasons or different exercise reasons, or maybe there's another reason for the lower back pain. If people have lower back pain, that would not be proof of an ape-like ancestor, and that would be the opposite of evolution.
No, it would not be the opposite of evolution.
Yes, it is.
I would love to explain why it's not.
Okay, where's an example of where we're gaining something new?
We're gaining the ability to walk on 2 legs and thus have 2 appendages free to hold things.
Who taught you that? And why did you believe it? I didn't teach you that. Now, I gotta come here more often. That's just what I need. Okay. I'll come here as often as you can find somebody to debate me, brother. You can call me, I'll drop it.
You cite the imperfection of evolution as evidence against it, where in actuality it's evidence for it.
Okay, first I would say I don't think the human back is poorly designed for walking upright. I think it's designed just fine. Now, I walk around just fine. If you're having trouble, you can see a chiropractor or something. Now, but the example you're giving is a lousy example for evolution. When you consider that you and I, standing here today, are copies off of a copy, 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 I would say, of Adam 6,000 years ago, and you would say off of a monkey 3 billion years ago. Either way, there are many copies have been made in here. It's amazing we can even be having this conversation. The original DNA code must have been incredibly complex to survive all this long copying process. So if there are flaws in the human anatomy today, defects, okay, it's a result of thousands of years of genetic problems, of genetic load, of mutations that are degenerative, not helping. If there's a low back problem today, that's not helping, that's not evidence for the evolution theory. I don't know how you can't see that.
Oh God, I could go on all night, but maybe I'll leave it to the next guy and take me up.
Yeah, you can come on back and go on all you want, okay? Go ahead.
My name is Philip Hong. I'm a bioengineering student third year here.
Oh, slow down. You're Philip and you're what?
Philip Hong, I'm a bioengineering student.
A biology student?
Bioengineering. Bioengineering. So biology and engineering.
Biology engineering student?
Yes.
Okay.
I'm also third year. First of all, I'd like to say that it's really been a pleasure being here with you. You're a really good speaker, first of all. I think if I ever owned a business, I'd really like you to be one of my salesmen.
I'll take it as a modified compliment, okay?
One thing I want to bring up is the fact that you mentioned that we shouldn't be teaching lies in school. So my question is, what would we be teaching if we wouldn't be teaching those quote-unquote lies?
If the things I brought up tonight were taken out of the books, there is still a huge amount of biology. I think most biologists, even evolutionary biologists, know an enormous amount of biology that they should be teaching to the next generation. Kids, these are the muscles, these are the bones, these are the tendons, these are the organs, this is the function, here's how the chemicals work. The origins subject is unrelated. It has nothing to do. You could learn all the muscles, all the bones, all the insertion points. You could learn a huge amount of biology without ever touching the origin subject. I don't think in public schools they should be allowed to discuss origins at all, because you're going to upset somebody no matter what you do. The majority of Americans do not believe in evolution. So why is the minority view being taught? And it's unrelated to biology. So if you took the lies out of the textbook, let's say we took out 30 pages out of your book, okay? You still have a huge textbook and a lot of biology to learn. I am not against biology. I think the kids ought to know the names of the I taught biology and anatomy. I think the kids ought to learn those things. That's great. But origins and evolution has nothing to do with it. Why is this wasting class time when the kids ought to be learning? There isn't one doctor on planet Earth that cares about evolution when he's doing heart surgery on somebody. He needs to know his anatomy really well to do surgery. Evolution has nothing to do with anything practical in the medical field, except they might want to talk about bacterial resistance, and I pointed out it's a loss of information. So that would be a lousy example for evolution too. So if you want to do surgery on somebody, if you're going to be a surgeon, I would like you to really study biology, and I don't care what you know about evolution, it's unrelated. And many famous surgeons are Christians and creationists. The guy who invented the MRI is a creationist, okay? The guy who invented Gatorade, one of the world's experts on absorption of minerals into the body, is a creationist. So evolution has nothing to do with the subject of biology. It's unrelated.
Well, this is a scary thought, though. Imagine that the lies that were being taught in school, that I consider that it might not be a lie, but in fact, it might be promoting other scientists to be discovering things like cures for cancer and so many other subjects of matter that can...
Well, let's take one topic at a time. You're saying we should keep these lies in the textbooks?
No. I'm saying that these lies, you're calling them these lies, but you're saying there's no point, absolutely no point in keeping these so-called lies in the textbooks.
Why would you keep a lie in the book?
Well, why would we keep natural selection in the books then?
Okay, natural selection, I didn't cover that tonight, but natural selection certainly works. It has nothing to do with evolution. Natural selection selects. If I said I want to get a population of 12-foot people